All right, there we go. Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. You all know how much I love our musical guests. And today we have the very talented Danny Hughes on the show. The title of his show is Keep Your Eyes Closed. He's got a great journey, which I learned a little bit about before we went live, and of course in his bio. Welcome to the show, Danny. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Ted. Thanks for having me on here, and yeah, for everyone tuning in. I really appreciate the opportunity to get in front of you guys and talk about kind of what I've been up to the last 10 years or so and where I'm at today.
Well, I love it. Thank you, and I have to give you a public shout out live. Thank you for being flexible. Danny and I have been trying to do the show since November, and my crazy schedule has rescheduled that a few times. So thank you for being flexible. I appreciate the grace there. All right. So we talked about origin story. You know, they love that. The audience wants to know a little bit about you. You obviously weren't born, I don't think, and decided to be a musician at age 2 or 5. So give us a little fun one on your journey. And obviously I want you to DCPA us and explain that as well.
Yeah. So I kind of got started pretty early on. I never made the choice to be a musician. My you can upload your music online and get some kind of listeners. I don't think we would have had many, but anyways, went to college and completely changed focus and became an accountant. So I got my master's degree in accounting at Texas Tech out in Lubbock.
How does that work? You told me that before we went live. So creative is so right-brained, or they tell us it is, and accounting is so structured and left-brain and methodical. How did you figure out, how did you move from that to the structured part? Was it difficult? Did you struggle in that career? Was it something that you said, well, this will make me money and I'll be at least happy? What was the impetus behind that?
So that was kind of it. I knew it'd be a stable profession. At the time, I don't think people my age were very excited about the job market. This was a career path that kind of could lead you to other things, because when you learn about accounting and you become, like, I was an auditor, right? So I went into all these companies and figured out what they looked like and what they were doing, and I realized kind of how pattern oriented that business is. And along the way, I'm kind of looking back and I'm like, what happened to my music career? I'm so good at, I'm looking at patterns all day, and I'm looking back at the music technology software, audio workstations and stuff, and it just looks so similar to Microsoft Excel. And those are just things I started noticing. It wasn't really necessarily what drove me to say, oh, well, the tool is there, so why don't I make music again? Even though that was part of it, kind of realizing that technology, electronic dance music, all those things were kind of picking up in the United States to where I could really get away from trying to be in a band or trying to be, I'm not a singer or anything like that. I'm an average instrument player of, a couple things. So I really like to get in the studio and produce, and so that's what I did while I was working my accounting job. After 5 or 6 years in there, I bought a new laptop, got the software, started making some songs, and I really realized that that was what I always wanted to do. Yeah. And that accounting was just my path into the corporate and the business world. And as a creative type, really, maybe that's where I realized I was weak, and that's part of what drove me to get a degree in that. Whereas with music, I thought, okay, well, my natural skill set could evolve without the education, so to speak. But nowadays, I'm thinking maybe I should go learn everything I can about the science of music and become like a teacher or something. I don't know. It's just a different paths forward.
I love your age group. I feel like you guys were on the cusp or the beginning of sky's the limit. Like, the technology came in, and so yes, you may have been trained and schooled to be an accountant and get a master's in that, but the doors are more open. Back in the day when I went in the prehistoric Stone Age days, you picked a path and you stuck to it because there was no way for you to switch it. There was none of this. And I love the fact that somebody who's a creative at heart, like you, can just switch it up because the platforms are there and the ability to do that is available if you want to. Did you have to refocus? Did you have to relearn anything when you shifted more toward music?
Yeah, I realized kind of, even though my brain can fire off all these musical ideas and I can smash them all together, I realized that, the commercial part matters, and really following certain fundamentals. That's where I was really needing to catch up. And I don't always like the same music a lot of people like. So when I hear things, there's a fair chance only a narrow audience is going to hear it like I heard it or how I wanted them to. So some of that stuff along the way, I've gotten coaching on, and I've hired, an agency overseas in the Netherlands to help me, just review my tracks and, okay, can we polish these up, and or what am I missing without taking away from what I've got here. I started doing that in the beginning a lot, and nowadays less and less. More I send it off to get mastered by a separate producer, but working with different collaborators and working with people from other countries too, that like really opened my eyes to what can I get away with, for example. And then also when you listen to music and you wonder, you hear orchestra sounds, you hear all this stuff, and sometimes you wonder where are they getting these sounds, how are they hiring an orchestra to record this one night, and then they're just taking that recording and putting it in their hip hop song on top of everything else. And you realize that there's just so much content out there that like even Apple will provide you, or sample packs. But what I like to do is go in and create, write everything out on a keyboard or whatever, and use the synthesizers and the tools to kind of make my own sounds that I can. But anyways, I guess my point is, like, you realize that it's about bringing the content together to make the product that you want to share with people. And once you realize that, it's a lot easier to move forward and finish those ideas that you have.
How is it for you, if you're methodical? I mean, you're trained as an accountant. Does that make it, are you more of a perfectionist when it comes to your music? Do you sit and edit and re-edit and re-perform, or is it are you less stringent on your process in the creative world?
I'm trying to be less stringent at this point, because what I realized is when I first started making music as an accountant, the expectation could be very low for myself. I just wanted to do this to see what happens. It's fun for me. And I realized I was putting out music faster, actually, at one point, than even when I went full-time into music last year, or the year before. I actually left that accounting job. I focused more on, like, DJing live, getting some more experience of, like, the crowd aspect. And but I have found myself over-perfecting, and it's hard to get as much content out when you do that. And really, when you think about it and when you talk to people, they're not going to hear the imperfections that you got stuck on. They want more content, they want more music. So hopefully going forward, that's my plan, is to just start cranking them out. And I think the better, the faster I get with the tools, the more I use them, the more natural that becomes. But
well, people like authentic. They like to be able to hear. That's why we talked before we went live. One of the reasons why I do live is because I don't want to. I will literally edit myself completely out of the show if I took that on, and so I know that's my perfectionist kind of thing. So I force myself into an arena where if I make a mistake, it's out there for the rest of the world to see forever, and it just is what it is. But I would be challenged. But I feel like that's good. That's a good approach. At least you know that creative side, you're perfecting it, but you're not so harsh on yourself that it's stagnating the creative process, which is really cool. So talk about Keep Your Eyes Closed. What is that reference to? I love to let the artist choose the show title, because I never know what I'm going to get, and I have no idea what the story is behind that.
Yeah, so Keep Your Eyes Closed was a song I released back in like late October, I believe, or maybe early, I can't remember. It was late last year, and it was a really great track that I've been working with this vocalist. Her name is Marcia Sondeshker. She lives in the Netherlands. I've been working with her for several years, and I go, like I was saying, you can get, the tools to make your music from a lot of different places. One of those is going to be vocals, and why you see female vocals with male producers behind them is because they do what I do. They go find a vocalist who's selling songs they wrote, and then I'll make the production around that. And this vocal is just two really basic, like, kind of chanted vocals. It's like keep your eyes closed when it's raining, hold your heart out, it's gonna be all right. Just basic, really feel good lyrics. And I was like, okay, I can really make a lot of, build the production around the vocals in a lot of different ways. So it's a really dynamic track, I'd say, and
Cool.
I really got to draw on like inspirations from my upbringing. Like ATB was a huge inspiration of mine. Eric Prydz, Daft Punk. So I try to like throw in some uh, little testimonies to them along the way.
How would you describe, and then I want you to perform for us, please? I'm excited. How would you best describe your music? Is there a genre it falls into? Do you like having a genre that you get labeled, or is it more universal? How do you approach that?
I usually like to just describe my music as electro house. It's such a, especially in electronic music, there's so many just genres and subgenres, and sometimes I'm leaning more towards progressive house or trance, or but people are like, what's the difference between progressive and electro, or can you have both progressive electro? So I just like to say electro house and synth pop sometimes too, and also new disco. So I just to keep
I
complicating
like all
things.
of that, and I'm excited to hear you perform. So I'm going to take myself off. Tell them what you're going to perform and give us a little history on that, and then we're going to let Danny Hughes share some of that musical creativity with us.
Yeah, so hopefully my screen and audio sharing works here in a second, but I'm gonna play, and I've got some lights synced up because I'm really just playing the track from my computer right now, so not much of a performance other than my light show I'll have here. But this latest track I released on Friday is called Iconic Love, and it's with the same vocalist I was mentioning, Marcia. Similar story
Awesome.
behind this vocal. I just really loved it, really attached to it. I think it applies to a lot of nostalgic things people could take this song and apply it to whatever they wanted. Love for a person, love for a creative hobby, for in my example. And so yeah, hopefully this works, and we'll
All right, I'm ready.
show you guys to it.
Take your time. Take your time.
Okay, share screen. I hope the audio does work. My computer's like hanging up on me right now, so we'll
Take
I'm
your
gonna
time, brother. That's the great thing about live. You never know what's going to happen.
exactly. And I hope I don't have to quit out of this program. Uh-oh.
See the
I'm having an
lights.
embarrassing moment here.
Oh, well, you're coming on. I see something coming on. Hold on. Is that what you
Uh-oh.
want?
No, that's not it.
Well, it's trying to add a screen. I'm here. I'm back.
Yeah, I was trying to get it to give me the audio from my computer as well, but
Well, you can always sing happy birthday for us.
is it your birthday?
No, it's it is not.
Well, Tad, I'm not sure if my thing's gonna catch up in time here. I would love to send you something to add to this video when you post it, if that works.
What you should do is, and then we'll wrap it up. What you should do is put it in the comments.
Okay.
So it'll be live and it's everywhere, obviously. So we want to hear your music, follow your music. So in the comments, once it posts, just go into each of the platforms and go ahead and share that link to the video, or share the video right on there. Should be able to do that. All right. So it is International Women's Day and Women's History Month. If I say the word hero to you, what woman comes to mind for Danny Hughes?
It's got to be my mom. My mom is a multiple time cancer survivor, and just she's close to 70 now, and she's just tough. She's just a tough woman. She's always been there. She's just such a positive influence on me and just how I think. She's got a lot of philosophies just around just peace and happiness, and just the way she handles everything. It's I think she's about the strongest woman I've seen, especially through what she's been through. 2 knee replacements on top of everything in the
Wow.
past 5 years.
Oh my
And
gosh, she is a strong woman. Well, see, it's always good to give a shout out to the people that make an impact on us. All right, Danny, tell us the best way they can find your music, look at what's going on in your world, subscribe, download, buy. What's the best way for them to find you?
Yeah, so anywhere you stream music is probably you're gonna find me. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, of course. I'll post that music right in the comment, so it's right there for you. If you need to look nowhere else, we'll look for the comment that I post on here with the track. And it came out on Friday, Iconic Love. Feel free to put it on in your car, wherever you're at right now, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it.
Awesome. All right, Danny, a pleasure. Thank you, my friend. Come back anytime. Y'all get out and support our creatives. Go to, and Danny's site is right there. It's DPCA Music, DCPAmusic.com. You can find him anywhere on social media and on all of the musical platforms. Thanks, Danny, so much. He'll put it in the comments. You guys check it out and support our creatives like Danny. We'll see you soon, everybody. Thank you, Danny.
Hey, I appreciate it. Hopefully next time, less technical errors on my side. But
hey, it happens. It happens. It's all right.
Happens as a DJ.
Share that.
I'm like you. I got